Just to be sure, there's a spoiler. Lance Barber comments on his upcoming return as George in Georgie and Mandy's first marriage following the character's death in Young Sheldon. Despite Young Sheldon's cancellation, CBS and Chuck Lorre have found a way to continue the prequel story with the latest Big Bang Theory spinoff. While Georgie, Mandy, and CeceCee's days are now mostly spent with the McAllisters, the Coopers remain an important part of the comedy's narrative. That includes George's impact on his firstborn, which will be further explored in a creative way, as teased in the Georgie and Mandy's first marriage episode 12 trailer. In an interview with USA Today, Barber talks about his upcoming return as George after the character's emotional death. For context, the Cooper family's patriarch had a predetermined end before the actor was even cast for the role, and there was simply no way out of it. Barber acknowledges how emotionally charged his upcoming scene with Montana Jordan's Georgie is, adding that he appreciates the response, even though it's quite bittersweet. Welcome to Movie Spy. What Barber's early comeback as George means for his potential future returns. It may pave the way for more appearances. Mary, Missy, and Meemaw have all appeared in Georgie and Mandy's first marriage at different points in its current run. Bringing back the Cooper family shouldn't pose any narrative problems because Georgie and Mandy are still living in the same town as them. However, considering George's demise in Young Sheldon, seeing Barber this early in Georgie and Mandy's first marriage is quite surprising. It seemed more likely that Lorre and his team would wait until after a couple of seasons before bringing him in for a cameo. Clearly, however, the writers have a different plan. This isn't a bad thing, however. While there are some concerns that seeing George this quickly after his death, even though Georgie and Mandy's first marriage isn't walking back on his demise, would cheapen his send-off, Barber signing on for the gig suggests otherwise. He has been vocal about only coming back if it will preserve the legacy of his death. The character's rather early return in the franchise could also set up more appearances from George in the future, the same way that the spin-off has handled Mary, Missy, and Meemaw's roles thus far. Our take on George appearing in Georgie and Mandy's first marriage. Maybe George can also appear in Mary and Missy's dreams. As long as it's done in a respectful way, seeing George again in Georgie and Mandy's first marriage will never be a bad thing. Based on the episode's trailer, it seems like his conversation with Georgie will be very emotional and maybe even necessary, considering that we never really saw the Cooper's firstborn learning about his dad's death. When Coach Wilkins and Principal Peterson delivered the news, he was with Mandy tending to baby CeceCee. The question now is if George's appearance in Georgie's dream also paves the way for him to appear in other family members' visions. It would be interesting to see how devout Christian Mary will react to seeing her late husband in her dreams, or if it will make an impact on Missy, who is once again in her rebellious phase. Could also be how Georgie and Mandy's first marriage is able to incorporate Sheldon into its storytelling. At this point, the possibilities are endless. Thanks for watching.